Hi, my name is Keith Miles. I'm a change management expert. We're going to continue our leadership framework series on 3 essentials for reinventing our organizations. Empathize, engage, and evaluate. That's language you can make your own to help you lead your team successfully through this. Today, we're going to talk about engagement and why that's important, but more so from the perspective of high performers, because I think that's being left off. So hang with me for 4 minutes. You'll see some great insights on this. Now, engagement. Remote work is good. Gallup says that remote workers typically have higher engagement. But I think there's a caution that we're leaving behind some of the high performers that are going to carry our organizations going forward. For high performers, engagement means being safe, being valued, being involved. And safety isn't one-dimensional. So safety has 3 aspects. It's physical. We're setting up distancing and workplace screening to make sure workplaces are safe. That's critical. But also it's emotional safety and making people feel understood. That's what we talked about last week when we said empathize. The third part is, especially for high performers, is economic or financial safety. How are they going to keep their jobs and the organization's safety going forward? So they know that every CFO worth their salt is evaluating their organization and looking for places they can prune so that the organization goes into the next phase of the economy in as strong a position as possible. So your high performers, they actually safeguard our teams because not only their expertise in their performance and productivity, but they guide the performance of the team, but they guard the positions on the team because of their performance. So we want to focus in on them. So how you do that, we talked about that. So propose half-finished ideas. You want to leave the tactics unstated and undefined, and then invite your team in and say, hey, we're going to do this, but I've got some real ideas, some questions about how best to do this. You folks know the details and the process. Can you help me? If we work together, I'm sure the resulting plan will be far stronger. Can you work with me on that? Well, of course they're going to say yes. Of course they are, because you're valuing their expertise. And they view this as respect. And that's how to engage high performers. The next thing is to involve them. There's 2 parts here. One, you have to talk not just aspirational and targets, but about where they live, where they work. And we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago on the working time horizon. Every job has one. C-level executives are out 3 to 5 years, but the working time horizon for frontline staff can be a week to months. So it's very short. So we want to talk about step forward actions, things that people can grab a hold on and resonate on, and that's how we engage them. It's talking about details. Okay, and Gallup says there's 5 conversations we need to have to engage it, especially critical for high performers. Daily connect, weekly status. Those are pretty common. We're doing those. But here's where we're going to engage our high performers. The next 3 conversations. Relationship to their role. So it's having an objective view of the role and how they're doing on it. Because then we're going to turn around and coach them on it. Okay? So 2 more conversations here. Objective view of the role, how they're doing on it, and what can they do differently. And that's a detailed description that you need to have on your processes. Next, the high performers are expecting progress reviews. Now, to engage high performers, 2 things. 2 things are critical. 1, no surprise. Nothing should be said in a progress review that wasn't said before, so they could have taken corrective action on. 2, the next thing is it has to be future focused. It's not just about last year's screw-ups. It's about ways they can rock their job now and in the future. So it's future focused. So no surprise, future focus. That's how to engage high performers. So next week, we're going to talk about evaluation and how we evaluate our processes and our environment. So this was Engage, the PDF and the link to the video, smgknowledge.com/reinvent. And thanks for spending these 4 minutes with me.